Welcome to Freezer Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Podcast where we talk about the comedic side and serious side of parenting, life, and relationships. We are boy parents. We have two boys, Enzo and Rhett, with about a 6-year age gap between the two. You can check out our website, freezermilk.com. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Freezer Milk Podcast. Thanks and hope you enjoy. What are you doing? Has it been a long week? Has it been a long 2 weeks or week and a half? How long has it been?
I'm so over it.
Do you need a vacation?
Mm-hmm.
I need a vacation.
Yeah.
Well, for all those wondering, we're still testing positive for COVID.
2 weeks later. Here we go.
Which means that Enzo can't go back to school yet.
Can't go back to his dad's.
Can't go back to his dad's. We normally do a 2-2-5-5 rotation, and it's been... By the time we're done with this, we'll be at like 20 days.
Yep.
Yeah. It's great.
It's been exhausting, to say the least. A lot of work. Baby's been cranky.
Baby's been really cranky today.
Enzo's just been acting out because he's bored. He wants to see his dad. And I don't know. I just think he wants some attention. Yeah. And it's hard for when we work full time. You're sick still.
Yep.
You got the baby.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot. But...
You know what brought me small pleasure this week?
What's that?
How many parents hide food from their kids?
No. Why? What'd you do?
So we got an Instacart delivery of groceries, and we got, 3 boxes of Uncrustables. You know, the frozen peanut butter and jellies. Yep. We put those
we hid those in the deep freezer.
We put those in the breast milk freezer, so Enzo never saw them. And we ate the entire thing, all 3 boxes. He didn't get any. He had no clue they were even there. You gotta take your wins where you can get them.
Oh, man.
It's like Mario Kart. You get such satisfaction out of kicking his butt in Mario Kart.
Oh, I know. And he gets so mad because he always comes in like last place, and he's like, "How do you always get first?" And I'm like, "Well, because this game is easy.
We're playing on the 50cc."
Yeah, you got to take your. He dishes it out too, though. I mean, he can be a pain in the ass.
He gets his sarcasm from you.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so just a little bit. Yeah, it's been a tough week. And then I love your mom is like trying to help.
But she doesn't want to help.
But she doesn't, or she's not available to help.
I don't think
she was like,
really...
whatever you need, let me know. So we're like, hey, because we're building a house, and we're supposed to be signing paperwork this Friday. So we're like, hey, if you can come over for 2 hours on Friday from this time to this time. And it's like quite a few, like it's the beginning of the week right now. And she goes, oh, well, I have tennis, so I can't. But any other time's fine.
Yeah, mind you, she's retired, and she really has nothing going on. But that particular time frame that we need
exact
her help,
same time block. Oh, I signed up for tennis. I just signed up this morning. Sorry.
It's amazing how that works. I don't know. She's always been like that, though. She wants to portray herself as, selfless and, willing to engage and help anybody. But at the end of it, she just doesn't want to. So.
Oh my gosh, I was talking.
That's why I made you call her.
Right, I called her. No, I can't. It's like you should have called. You're her favorite son.
Yeah.
I was talking with another mom earlier this past week, and I was talking about how, because she was working on some DIY stuff, and it was after her 14-month-old went to bed. And people were asking her, like, why do you stay up so late working on DIY stuff? And I was like, girl, I get it. When those kids, we are in the phase of life where we live for bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
When those kids go to bed, it's just you and me, baby. And we get to adult, and we get to talk shit about kids and about our day.
Heavily.
We get to have some drinks. We can
eat the lunch.
We can eat the
Uncrustables.
We can binge watch whatever we want on the TV.
Well, this is the only time we get to ourselves, because at night, Rhett's up every couple of hours, so and both of us get up. Mm-hmm. So throughout the night, baby. You get up in the morning. He's up at 5 o'clock in the morning, baby. Then Enzo. And then throughout the day, baby and Enzo. All day until about 8 o'clock when Enzo goes to bed.
And
then I'm in bed by 9.
It's sometimes
I get 1 hour to eat as many Crustables as I possibly can. Uncrustables as I possibly can.
I'm so looking forward to when we're in the new house that we get to add to the list of like what we do after the kids go to bed, is that you and I can grab the baby monitor and go sit in the garage and plan out projects and watch TV out there and just relax.
Get out of our heads. Well, I mean, you did buy a baby jail, which is
a big
huge.
playpen.
Yeah, it's massive. She bought the biggest one she could possibly find.
You could fit a king-size bed mattress in there.
Honestly, I could live in it comfortably. You just throw a roof on it, and I'd be tickled pink.
Well, the new house is a lot larger of an open area, and we won't have the ability, like right now, we have the ability where we take our 2 couches and we take some like ottomans and we kind of sequester into the corner so that we create like a baby safe zone in the corner of our living room, with the couches and everything else kind of all smushed in that way. But with how the living room is laid out in the new house, we don't have that option.
Yeah, that's true.
And we have to figure out, sorry, our baby's white noise machine's like glitching out in the background. I can hear it. We have to figure out in the new house, like how to sequester the baby. And so I bought this massive playpen. Well,
this thing's huge. You can park a car in it.
Yeah, it's like 160 centimeters by 200 centimeters, I think.
Yeah, but I think it'll be good because hopefully it'll contain him. Although he is spoiled and he doesn't like to be, because he just recently started walking.
Yeah.
And now he is all over the place. He doesn't want to be confined. He wants to walk around the house. He wants to open cabinets. He wants to knock things over. He just does not want to sit in his confined area that we've got for him. And it's nice. It's padded. All his toys are in here. He's got cool things to play with. He's got the TV, so he gets to watch Miss Rachel. Like, he's got all the best things that you could possibly have.
Don't you love Miss Rachel?
Oh, man. He'll watch that for an hour. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Gives me some time to work.
But when I first put it on, you hated it.
Oh, I couldn't stand the singing. It drove me nuts. But now I'm just like...
just tune it out.
Now today, that was today. The YouTube wasn't working. It just kept circulating and it was buffering.
Yeah.
And I was so like anxious. I was like, oh my God, if I can't get Miss Rachel to work, I don't know what I'm going to do.
So if you don't know what Miss Rachel is on YouTube, go look it up. I think her thing is Songs for Littles or something like that is what it's called. But it's actually really interesting. Like, she has this like big musical background. Her husband is a big musical background, like concert pianist. They're really interesting. It's slightly more educational than like super simple songs. They try to work with them on like baby sign language and some words and colors.
Yeah, just teaching. It's more academic. Yes. I think
it's like preschool.
Yeah, basically
like daycare.
And he loves it. I mean, it's his favorite show. I can put on so many different Disney things, and he doesn't pay attention. You throw that on, and he's good. Like, he's content.
Yep.
So I really appreciate that.
Good old Miss Rachel.
But today it didn't work, and I about lost my mind.
Realize how much she helps us.
Yeah.
No, remember? So I told you Enzo started walking at 7.5 months. And he was the same way as Rhett. Like, as soon as he could walk, he no longer wanted to be held. Like, Rhett's still pretty good about he'll let you hold him if you're standing. Mm-hmm. He will get to a phase pretty quickly where he will, like, try to wiggle out of your arms and throw himself down on the ground because he wants to be doing it on his own. Yay. No, but Enzo would want to go everywhere. That's why in the old house, we had all those cabinet, like, magnetic locks. We're going to have to do the same thing in the new house.
Except the problem with those magnetic locks is I could never figure them out, so I couldn't get in the cabinets. They're supposed to be childproof, not creep-proof.
I'll work with you on it. You're going to want them in the new house, because then... what was it the other day in the bathroom? So we have packed up most of our bathroom at this point. So we have, like, one set of drawers that has stuff in it, and it has disposable razors. This freaking kid gets into this drawer and starts, like, trying to grab... I mean, the razors have a little tiny plastic guard on them, but those pop off so easy.
That's all right. He pulled off the Glade air freshener off the wall and started licking the top of it.
That can't be.
I, like, smelt his mouth. I'm like, oh, God. I was like, those things can't be fucking healthy.
That's terrible.
Oh, parenting.
He is that kid. Enzo is not the kid that pulled stuff out of the wall.
Oh, he loves it. He goes up to every nightlight. Say that 10 times fast. Nightlight in the house, and he pulls it out of the wall.
And plugs.
Yep.
We have to buy all those like plug boxes at the new house. That like is like a door that goes over your plugs in the wall, so you can't pull them.
He's that second child.
He is. I sent you that TikTok today. We do that. I don't know if anyone else does that. We do what we call TikTok dates. So sometimes in the evening.
Yeah, sometimes in the evening.
We'll sit on couches and send each other hilarious TikToks
that we think are relevant or funny.
Yeah, and that's like our little decompressing date time.
Yeah, since we can't find a babysitter, TikTok's our babysitter and Miss Rachel.
TikTok's not our babysitter.
Oh,
TikTok's our date night.
Yeah, that.
Miss Rachel helps us watch the children.
Right. How sad is that? How crazy does that sound? The TV helps us watch our children.
Oh, God. It's a pandemic lifestyle, you know?
No, yeah.
Especially with COVID, because we can't have anyone come help right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've just been running solo.
For weeks. Solo. And you've been curled up on the couch.
Yep.
Trying to get through it all.
Yep. Oh, and my poor friends.
Yeah, everybody's getting it.
People are getting it at round 2 also.
Yeah.
They had it 3 weeks ago, and they just got it again today or yesterday. It's terrible.
Must be living on the surfaces of the house.
I don't know.
That's why we bought like 20 gallons of Lysol.
Right.
I'm just gonna go around and spray everything.
We gave Lysol and area rugs all our money. Oh my gosh, guys! So there was a sale on boutiquerugs.com, and it was like I think it was like Danny 67 was the code, but it took 67% off these rugs. And the new house is all tile. The bedrooms are the only thing that have carpet. The rest of the house is all tile. Hallways, Cree's office, my office, the playroom, everywhere is tile in this house.
Hard surfaces.
Lots of hard surfaces. And tile's weird. Like, even though we're in Arizona and it's hot, tile gets real drafty. Like, it gets real chilly. In, like, hallways and stuff, it creates a lot of cold spots, I feel like. So we bought a lot of rugs on this really good sale the other week. And they started getting delivered today.
The poor FedEx guy.
You were out driving with a baby and you got the Ring video notification. And all I see pop up on my phone is, please tip that poor FedEx guy. This dude just carried, like, 6 12-foot rugs in the house. Well, to the front door, not inside.
That poor guy, man. I felt so bad for him.
He did not look happy.
It's like, here's your rugs.
Not amused.
Like, more rugs.
Apparently, the worst thing that FedEx and UPS guys hate is when people order cases of water on Amazon, because a case of water comes in a box.
Oh, God, so it's really hard to
So
carry.
it's like, so it's massive bulk and heavy. Or they'll order huge bags of dog food, which come in a box.
Oh, man.
So they can't, like, sling it over their shoulder or, like, tuck it under their arm to try to carry it. It's just in a box. It's terrible.
I think I'm going to order a bunch of water and dog food. No, I don't even own a dog.
Terrible. I wonder why his brown noise is glitching out like that.
I don't know. It's annoying.
Yeah.
The things we worry about now as adults.
Right.
And parents.
Oh, my gosh.
The dude's got 3 brown noise machines.
No, one's white noise. There's a difference.
One's white noise, one's brown noise, and they're cranked all the way up. All the way up.
The problem is because his crib's in our room, we're so used to the sound now. It's so nice.
I have a Spotify channel that's 12 hours of brown noise. So I can play playing brown noise in the car.
I might need to switch it to that one because I think it's playing some other weird one that's like super short, and that's why it keeps glitching. I don't know. It gave me weird. It's been acting weird the last day or two, ever since you threw the breaker, that everything was on.
No, yeah, that's right.
The router, everything. Whole house like freaked out.
Yeah, you don't really realize how much you rely on technology until you blow the breaker.
For your router.
For your
lose
router.
all Wi-Fi everywhere.
And you lose everything, and everybody freaks out in the house.
You're like on a Zoom call, drop, dang it. Kids TV, Miss Rachel, drop, dang it. Yeah, baby's napping, white noise drops, dang it.
It's a pandemic life, man. It's changed after all this sudden. Everything's changed.
Yeah.
The way we live our lives is definitely changing.
Do you know what the excitement of our day is, guys, right now?
Driving by our house.
Driving by the house. Or as Enzo calls them, nap drives.
Because we do it every day.
We do it every day.
And pack him up.
Rhett takes a nap. We check Home Depot and Lowe's every single day on their app or their website for what's on sale for that day.
Yep, every day. And then we send it back and forth to each other.
The special buys of the day.
We're like, hey, we need this.
We're going to need this for the new house. We need this for this house. Oh, this is a good idea for this person.
I think we need to get out more.
Yeah.
Stop spending money on rugs and tools.
Babysitters are hard to come by.
They really are. No one wants to do it anymore.
Well, it's not just that, but man, how do you... Well, A, so Rhett doesn't take a bottle. So that's super challenging to get a babysitter for. But B, like, trusting people with our children is terrifying.
Yeah.
And trusting that in the event an emergency, because like you're like, oh yeah, you're fine, like you're 18, 19, 20, I can trust you to watch my kid for a couple hours. But then you start to think through, if there was an emergency, how would they handle the situation? Would they freak out, or would they be able to maintain a level of calmness to know what to do? Like someone getting hurt, someone choking, a fire happening, a car driving through the front of the house, like...
Yeah, I mean, would their first thought be about them, or would it be about the child?
The kid.
Protect the kid. Because our instincts are naturally to protect the kid, not about ourselves.
But it's not their kid.
But it's not their kid, so...
Especially if they're not a parent, like they don't have kids or, a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I still, it blows my mind now as a parent to think that when I was like 15 to 17, people trusted me to watch their like 2 or 3 or 4 kids. And they would go out for like 6 hours at night.
It was a different time.
They're like, hey, like come over 6 p.m. We'll be home at midnight. We ordered pizza. Here's the 3-month-old.
Well,
here's a bottle with formula, breast milk, whatever. And here's the 4 other kids. You got this.
It was just like when I was younger, I was always out with my friends, 10, 11, 12 years old until 7, 8 o'clock at night. Out and about, skateboarding or riding a bike or whatever I was. My parents didn't care. It was just now, you think about it. Would you let Enzo go out and play out in this, the street down the street until 7 p.m.? No,
well, it's like we debated the other day. We have a green space right outside our front door. Like it's our front door, the street our house is on, and then the mailbox is in a big green space,
which is a visual for my garage, which I'm always in.
Yes. And we debated, like, is he old enough to allow him to go into that green space and, like, kick a soccer ball around by himself? And we still decided,
that's probably not a good idea.
Nope. He's a little bit too far. Can't quite grab him
and he doesn't,
quick enough.
He doesn't exactly have, I don't think he's adapted common sense yet.
No.
Or the concept of common sense, because, and it's nothing bad against him, it's just, he's at that age where he's still processing, and things to me that would make sense don't necessarily make sense to him.
He is super unaware of his surroundings.
Absolutely. I completely
And that's
agree.
where I'm like, I couldn't trust you to...
I don't know how many times we'd be driving for a couple hours, an hour, going on one of our nap drives, and his switch would be dead, so he would be looking out the window, and we'd be pulling into the neighborhood, and he'd ask me, how long until we get home? I'm like, we're literally...
Like, how do you not recognize
passing the green
yet?
space that you kicked the soccer ball at.
Yeah.
We're literally pulling into the driveway, and you don't know how long it's going to be until we get home?
Well, today we went on the nap drive, and we weren't on the drive very long because he didn't bring a switch today, so he was paying attention the whole time, hypothetically. And we're heading down Ironwood, and he's like, where are we going?
Same time of day that we normally go.
Same route.
Same exact route. We didn't change anything. We didn't make any stops.
No. I'm like... the same place we go every single day, Enzo. Like, how... were we just that oblivious when we were that age?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Maybe we were, but you would think eventually he would start to recognize, like... yes, this is a desert, so a lot of it all looks the same.
Yeah.
But you'd think you'd start to, like, recognize, like, visuals of, like... He did, like, we passed the Combs High School sign, and he recognized it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, that's the school where we do the drive-through COVID testing.
Yeah, I don't ever trust that he could actually, if he got lost or separated from us, if we were out and about, that he could figure out a way to get home.
No.
Or even how to call us. No. Like, I'm like if somebody found him and was like, what are your parents' names? Would he even be able to relay that information?
Yeah.
No, it's just tough.
I was thinking about the other day, I was like, like our parents used to leave us home alone at...
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember if it was at 7, but probably by like 10. But there's landlines. Everybody had landlines back then.
Yeah. How are you supposed to get a hold of the restaurant? I'm going to call Macayo's real quick and try and get a hold of my parents.
Or 911.
Oh.
That's my thought. We weren't allowed to call anywhere else to get a hold of our parents. It was just, hey, you don't call anybody to answer the phone, but if there's a fire or somebody's choking or bleeding, call 911. Okay. That was the rule. Now we think about this stuff and we're like, oh, there's not a landline.
So I was always younger when my parents would leave us home, all three of us. But so the objective was, both my sisters being older, they were supposed to watch me, right? But they would, either one of my sisters would have friends over, or they would both leave, and I would just be there by myself. My parents would come home and be like, what the fuck? You know what? Why are you, where are your sisters? Great question.
No, they left me.
They left me.
They didn't want to be babysitters.
So, a whole different time. Different time. Nowadays, I'm just like, I don't trust you by yourself. I don't.
No. Enzo's asked me before, like, why can't you just leave me home alone?
Nope.
Nope,
get in the truck.
A, you don't have a cell phone because you're 7.
Not that you don't even know how to use one.
Right. How would you unlock it? B, we don't have a landline. C, I can't trust you to even know where we live.
And I haven't checked my insurance to make sure, my house and homeowner's insurance to make sure it's up to date. So.
And you're 7. So no.
Get in the truck.
Sorry.
Bring your Switch. Let's go.
What is it? Oh, his big thing now, so we've got him on this kick of... It's kind of a smart tactic-ish. It's not quite as expensive for us. So we've got him on this kick of like, oh, well, with GameStop, you can trade in games and get credit towards another game.
Right, and I make him do chores around the house.
And he does money chores from time to time, or he gets, like, hit his birthday recently, so he got, a little bit of money from different relatives. $7 here, $7 there for turning 7. And so, his big thing now is he's like, he doesn't understand that we have COVID, so we can't really go into places and hang out in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, what day can we go to GameStop? I almost finished this game, and I want to trade it in and get this other one instead. And if I need to trade 2 games, I will. Like, he's very good about understanding that aspect of it, which is really interesting to me that he gets that concept.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting.
The brown noise drives me crazy,
yeah,
doesn't it?
It keeps going on and off. That baby's going to wake up. This is my time.
It's your protected 1 hour.
Yeah, it's my protected 1 hour before I pass out.
No, it's interesting that he gets that concept, though. But it's kind of nice because it helps him understand that, like, I need to play this game and enjoy it, and then I can go trade it for something else and not just keep buying new ones and still having the existing ones here at the house.
Yeah, I think it teaches them a sense of responsibility, and also teaches them a little bit about money, and how the importance of it and how it's used, and at least we're not like making him barter or anything like that. We should bring back the barter system with him, though. I don't know. I don't care if he does the game thing that way, but I'm not going to keep buying him $50 games.
No.
So if he can trade his games in and buy, trade it in for another game, fantastic. But you need, I think it's important that he understands that this stuff's expensive. Stuff is not cheap. I don't know how many times he's dropped that Switch on its face. Oh, God.
The screen has a crack in it and it's giving me anxiety. I'm like, we have a case for it. I don't understand. Why do you take it out of the case? Because the case doesn't work with the charger? That's dumb.
Right.
Why didn't they build this better? Oh, wait, because they want you to buy another Switch.
Uh-huh. That's exactly it. They know the kids are going to break it, so you'll have to buy another one because you won't be able to live without it.
What does he have? Oh, he had GameCube at his dad's house, then he got a Wii. I'm like, that's what we should do. Get these, like, antiquated game systems that are, like, $5.
We should. What was it, Atari? We'll find him at Atari.
That's probably a collector item now.
Or a Sega Genesis.
Oh, right.
Remember that? He probably actually liked Sega because it had the Sonic the Hedgehog. It had all those kinds of games. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't know how to use it, but
I will say Enzo has been crushing virtual first grade.
Yeah, he flies through that stuff.
We have, aside from the 4 math homework worksheets that had to get printed off, he has everything done for the entire week, and it's Tuesday. He has all of his assignments done, all of his tests done, everything online. It's all done.
Yeah, but he's used to that because, we taught him.
His virtual kindergarten, we talked about this previously, I think. His virtual kindergarten was so intense. Mm-hmm. It was a ton of work.
A lot of homework.
So, like, everything. He's in a charter school now that's supposed to be, like, a ton of homework. It's not.
He comes home. He has his routine. He knows he gets home. He changes his clothes, gets out of his little school uniform, comes in here, maybe grabs a snack, and then he goes into homework. And he gets his homework done in, like, 10 minutes. And it's off to whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Rhett finds it so funny. So, on the virtual, they're learning phonograms, which are, like, groupings of letters that have certain pronunciation sounds to be used in different words. So, like, you know, CH is like ch, and then like something else and something else. I don't know. Phonograms were not a thing when I was a kid. So there's a video of this lady and she does all of the sounds like one after another. I don't know why, but Rhett thinks it's the funniest shit ever. He starts belly laughing so hard when she goes ch, twitch, k, ooh, ow, eh. He is just, I think he thinks it's baby talk.
He probably understands it.
Right.
He's like, oh, I got you.
It's so funny. So his favorite sound currently is ch. Like it's...
Ch. Yeah, so Enzo walks around the house saying ch. And I'm like, what are you doing?
And Rhett's just smiling.
Yeah, Rhett's just staring at him laughing. Like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
Bartering.
It's a trip.
Mm-hmm.
We're all here for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I think we're going to sign off and enjoy the remainder of our parent, kid-free parent time.
Then I'm going to go throw the brown noise machine through the wall.
Yep, I know it's driving me crazy.
Keeps cutting out.
If you guys get a chance, please help us out and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, iTunes. That would be really helpful to get our podcast out there. Share it with your friends. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at
freezermilk.com
or Instagram.
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.